Hey guys, welcome back to another Getting Techy with SaaS alerts. In today's video, we're going to be taking a quick look at advanced suppression. Let's go ahead and jump in, and I have set up a scenario for us. In this instance, we have a critical alert that has come in for multi-factor authentication being disabled. So maybe we don't really care so much that Jason disables his MFA, and it's not really a critical alert for us. And maybe we also have a respond rule that's triggering based off of this, and we want to also exclude that from happening. But we want to add some parameters around this exclusion. It's very easy to do with advanced suppression. Some of you may have already be familiar with the little bell with the line through it. Well, it's gotten a lot more teeth now, and it can do a lot more things. Let's go ahead and let's click on this guy right here. So now we have a cool little slide out that says create an event suppression rule. We can specify who this applies to. So say it applies to more than just Jason. Maybe we have multiple accounts and our 222 yards that we want to apply it to. We can specify those users here. We can also go back to just Jason. We can do the entire organization of 222 yards, or we can take it even a step farther and say, you know what, everybody, all the clients in my environment, this should apply to. For this instance, we are going to just pick on Jason. So now we can choose a couple of things that we want to create this suppression for. So maybe there's a couple of criteria that we want to place around this. Maybe we don't want to say, you know what, Jason's okay to disable his MFA whenever he wants to. Maybe we want to say, Jason's really okay to disable his MFA if it's only coming from a certain IP address. So we can say, all right, IP address, we can check this. We can say, all right, well, maybe also we want to add a little bit of geographical information about this. Maybe it's not only his IP address, but it also has to be come back to this city. Or maybe we want to say, you know what, any activity within Easton is going to be okay. So Easton, and then we'll say Easton, Pennsylvania. So we have our region here. So now we've said, okay, well, if this event does occur again, and it's within this Easton, Pennsylvania location, not really so much of a big deal. But as you can see on the right-hand side, we do have a lot of criteria that we can choose from. So quite a bit of options here. Moving on, we're going to hit next. And we're going to say, hey, you know, we have a couple options, additional options before we actually create our suppression. Is this going to be date-based? Maybe it is. Maybe it's from this date to 2 weeks from now, and maybe that's okay. There you go. And then we have, okay, so the suppression will be active for 15 days. This is optional. You don't even have to specify a date if you don't want to. You can uncheck this option and it will be pretty much indefinite. We are now presented with this. A required field is for us to give a reason behind this suppression. Maybe we're saying, you know what, he's a new account and needs to change MFA. Another thing that you might want to think of is if you're suppressing this for like a request of a customer, maybe you want to put a ticket number in there. That will help you kind of reference back why this whole thing occurred in the first place. So let's do a ticket 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to choose what is going to be suppressed. What about this it is going to be suppressed in our system. Like for this one, we're going to say, you know what, maybe I have an IOC that says, if somebody disables MFA, notify me. Well, I don't want that IOC to trigger for this one. So I'm going to check this one, skip IOC. Maybe I also have a respond rule that's created. I'm going to skip respond rule. Maybe I still want to see it in analysis. I'm going to leave that unchecked. And now I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? Also, I want to skip any sort of ticketing that may occur. So I don't want to be notified with a ticket or an email if this occurs. And this really doesn't apply so much to outside approved location. However, you can kind of think, hey, I have a date range. I have the ability to select countries and cities and IP addresses. Maybe in the future, I don't want to have an outside approved location event triggered based off of this. Just something to keep in mind. You do have that as an option. It is something that you can toggle off and on. For now, we're just going to leave it off because it really doesn't apply in this situation, but you can kind of think, hey, maybe in the future, maybe it would apply to a certain situation. All right, let's go ahead and click create some suppression. All right, the event has been successfully suppressed. Now, what do we do if we want to see all of the suppressions that we have in place? We have a nice little place for you to look at that. We're going to be going under event monitoring and suppression rules. And here we can see all of the things that we have suppressed. We can also check up here at the top where it says show expired, and we can see any sort of suppression rules that were initially in our system that maybe have since expired. All right, so we're going to go ahead and uncheck this for now. And we can see that the one that we created for Jason is right here. So we have new user, needs MFA change. Here's the ticket number. And this is the conditions that we have suppressed. This is the date range that we have put in. Here's the person that has done this. And here are the things that it applies to. We can also click on this little eyeball. Maybe we want to see any of the events that would have popped into our system. Right now, none. That's okay. We can edit this. So there's not going to be too much to change right here, other than we have the ability to extend our date a little bit, but these little toggle boxes are not changeable at this moment. So we'll go ahead and update that. So we can extend this suppression, or we could probably also decrease it as well. Let's see, we've got here, I'm just go ahead and do this instead of that. I'm going to do a 1 week. All right, cool. So we are able to change the date range. If you do want to modify any of these details, it's going to be best for you just to recreate this whole event, which is very easy to do. Just head back off to analysis, find your event, and suppress it. We can also kill it from here. Maybe we have changed our mind. Not such a great suppression rule after all. We're going to hit the delete, and there we go. It should be removed. Oh, there it goes. And it's not going to show up in expired because this was removed. It's not one that exists any longer. These expired are pretty much just to keep track of the ones that ran successfully. Now they're no more. All right, well, I hope this has been helpful for you. Do you have any questions? If you do, I'd encourage you to definitely reach out to our support team. You can also jump onto our Discord server. Very helpful information there, and happy to include the invite on this video down there in the description link below. So thank you so much for watching. Talk to you next time.